Hey, how's everybody doing? Excited to be back. Fire away.
Tyrann, just what was kind of your motivation for getting this done, getting the second year, maybe working with the team a little bit, to make it happen.
Well, to be honest, man, I've really enjoyed really being a part of this team. Especially defensively. I feel like we do a lot of great things. I love the coaches. I love the way those guys come to work and prepare. And I like playing with my teammates too. So, I'll probably say for me, man, obviously, I'm from here and it's a blessing to play here, right? So, to kind of keep that going, man, it means a lot to me.
Tyrann, we know it's important for you to play in New Orleans, be in New Orleans. Does this kind of effectively give you the opportunity to retire as a Saint and retire in your hometown?
Yeah, I hope so, but I probably say, more than that, right? I got another chance to help these guys win. I probably say the last couple of years has, kind of been, underwhelming, to say the least, right? So to have another opportunity to suit back up with these guys, and help this whole city win, that means a lot to me. So I'm excited about that opportunity.
You what's been so enjoyable about playing with this defense and these teammates over the last couple of years?
Well, it was a different system from the ones that I was used to in the past, right? And it took me a while to kind of get comfortable and get going. But between the coaches and the players, all those guys were always supporters, right? And once I really began to kind of understand the system, right, and the scheme, I started to have fun again, right? And I kind of felt that last year. So to kind of be able to kind of keep that rolling, right, and feel even more comfortable, going into year three in the system. That's exciting for me because I know there's still a lot of football plays to be made, and I think I still have enough in me to make them.
Tyron, when you say underwhelming, you just talking about the results of the seasons missing the playoffs, or are you talking about yourself a little too, and some of that, you know, finally starting to feel it in year two that you were just talking about?
Well, I think realistically, we all could have played better, right? And so, but I think overall, there's so much excitement, right? And I think we all, thought that, we'd be much better, as far as wins and losses, concerned. But I love the group, right? I love my teammates. I love the building. I love the coaches, right? Like I feel like we have everything we need, right? You kind of just go through some rough patches, right? But I think, I know me personally. I believe in the coaches. I believe in the players in the locker room to help us turn it around because I do believe we have enough guys, in our locker room that we could be a pretty good football team.
Hey, Tyron, how important was that second year, just to add on, and does it provide some stability for you at all, or what was kind of the thought process there for trying to get that done?
Well, I'm getting older, right? And so, if I can just have things kind of black and white, for me, that provides a lot of clarity, for me. So, and obviously too, man, I love playing this game, right? So whether it was just 1 year or 2 years or 3 years or 4 years, I'm always excited, man. I'm always grateful to just be able to play the game. But I think two more seasons in the Big Easy, around family, around friends, around teammates that I love to be around, and then still doing things for the community, that I love to be a part of. So it's just a great opportunity for me, and just looking forward to really the next 2 years.
And I'm curious, did what happened with the safety market kind of influence your decision at all? What did you kind of make of just it seemed like a lot of big names are getting released and that sort of thing?
Yeah, I mean, it happens, every year, right? And I've been on that side, a few times, right? And so, but it all goes back to just, man, like that clarity part of it, right? Like just knowing where you're going, knowing where you're going to be. Um, I think it helps you, especially in the off season, to kind of redirect and refocus and just have that motivation going into next season.
Tyrann, it sounds like Jordan Howden might get a bigger role maybe moving forward. Just kind of what was your year one review of him playing next to him?
Well, I thought he played well. Obviously, he could have played better. But I thought, given the situation and circumstances, us just kind of plugging him in and playing. He's a smart kid. He's talented. I know he went through some, rough spots. I think all rookies go through that. But I think overall, man, he's a good kid. He's a great teammate. He's fun to be around, and he's another one of those young guys on our defense that, I think we're going to count on, for many years to come. So, I look forward to continuing to play with him and just continuing to help him become the player that we all know he can be.
Tyrann, the last 2 years, 17 games, 17 starts. How much pride do you take in just the durability, the availability that you've had? And as you've gotten later in your career, is that something that you've had to maybe spend more time on as your process changed over the last, 4 or 5 years?
Yeah, I mean, I struggled with a lot of injuries, early on in my career that, I kind of felt, robbed me, of playing, per se. I think I missed close to 17 games, I think my first 5 years in the league, right? So, and I think that kind of played a part in, me getting released from Arizona, right? And I think as a youngster, you don't really realize your availability, right? Like it's all about your ability, right? And I think as you get older, you become more conscious of your availability, right? Because your ability is not what it used to be, right? So, just being able to show up every day, right? Every game, every practice. I think that's what it's all about. Like that's what we get paid to do, right? And so I enjoy doing it. For me, it's not work, and then too for my teammates and coaches, man. Like I always want to be one of those guys that they know is going to be there, that they know that they can count on. So I take a lot of pride in that.
Tyrann, you've also segued into that mentorship role. How much do you embrace it? I know how much you talk about how Larry Fitzgerald and guys like that were that for you early in your career.
Man, that's what it's all about. Especially if you're a guy like me who's been, beyond blessed, right? You want to see that happen for young guys, right? Teammates, guys who become more than teammates. You want those guys to grow up and, have a lot of money, right? Like have a lot of resources, have a beautiful family, right? So that's important for me because I always had guys, in my huddle that was like that, that always inspired me, right? To be better, to do more in the community, to, raise my kids the right way. So, I hope and pray that I can continue to kind of be, a positive influence, on the young guys, as far as that goes.
Hey, Tyrann, you mentioned that you and your teammates just had high expectations for the season that maybe didn't pan out. Is there like any one moment or one game that you look back on this season that maybe you regret more than most, or you consider a turning point?
Oh man, I'd probably say the one that I regret the most was, probably that Rams game. We just weren't ready, right? I think our coaches did everything they could to kind of prepare us, but I think as a team we just wasn't ready. And I think given the way we ended the season, and how we had to claw and kind of fight and scratch, like that was a huge game for us, and we just wasn't ready. Like we just didn't do it. So I think had we won that game and showed up and played, to the level that, we were capable of playing, I think, we would have probably punched our ticket in the playoffs, last year. So I think about that game a lot, man, because it's like, that was a great unit we were playing. That was a great team. Sean McVay is a great offensive mind, right? And I think as a defense, we consider ourselves a pretty good defense, and we just didn't show up that day. So, that was one of those games from last season that hurt me the most. When I look back on it.
Hey, Tyrann,
there's obvious win-win elements to this deal. Obviously, the average value goes down a little bit, helps the Saints. You get an extra year of security, but you had a year left on your deal. What was the sort of the impetus for deciding to change it at all?
Well, say it again. I'm sorry, I couldn't really hear your question.
Yeah, I mean, you didn't really have to do anything with the deal since you had 1 year left on it? Was it you that kind of wanted to see, can we extend this, or was it a way to work with the Saints and sort of bring the value down? What sort of the reason to change the deal that you already had in place, I guess?
Yeah, I think, for one, I've made a lot of money in this league. I think I like, the situation I'm in, right now with the Saints. I think I've come along, in the system, right? So for me, like, that's exciting, and I think, where I'm at today, in my life today, like, I would have just took a 1 year deal, took some off top, but I love to be in New Orleans, man. I love to be around family. I love being able to be in the community, right? Like, and not have to live out of town and come back in for a weekend or two, right? Like, I'm here, right? So that means a lot to me. I still feel like there's a lot more for me to do in the community. And so, just having that extra year to kind of be able to do all the things that I really want to do while I'm home, that was really important for me.
Hey, Tyrann, that's kind of what I wanted to ask you about. How much of this is just kind of going on your the kind of personal legacy you're building in your hometown, and wanting to be here to kind of accomplish the things outside of being a Saint?
Yeah, man. I'm pretty sure a lot of people would. They're probably going to remember, the honey badger. But as far as the community, related things go, man, like, I feel like it's still so much more, for me to do, right? And I think if I'm able to do the things that I really want to do in the community, I think a lot of people will remember me for that, and that'll be more than a blessing. That'll be more than enough. So, I'm pretty sure I still have some honey badger fans, but I'm really hoping I can leave a lasting impact, like, in the community. I hope I'm one of those guys that people remember and say, man, like, he always gave us his time. Like, he always shared whatever he had. Like, he was always willing to give it to, someone less than. So, like for me, like, that means a lot to me. And I think I still have an opportunity to kind of, achieve some of those goals that really has nothing to do with football.
Anything else for Tyrann?
Yeah, just going back to what I was asking about the safety market earlier. With it, do you sense that the NFL is still, like, valuing the safety position as it once did, or is this, with so many guys being released this offseason, like, is that a sign that maybe they don't value safeties as they used to?
I mean, maybe so. I think, obviously, some safeties are truly valuable, right? Like, they can play multiple positions. But I think in certain schemes and certain systems, right? Like, you can go for a younger guy, right? Like, you can just plug and play a younger guy and you can get by. It's very, very unfortunate because I felt like, I've been in the league 11 years, and I felt like at one point, the safeties were really valuable, right? Like, because those guys can do a lot of different things. But, it seems as if the league is kind of getting away from it, so to say. But, I think a few of those guys, they'll be all right. They'll be fine, whatever system they play in, wherever they land. But you worry about those guys, younger than you, right? Like, those guys that deserve to really be paid, right, top dollar. So I'm hoping those young guys that's much younger than me, man, could, hopefully this is over with and those guys can, reap the benefits, But for right now, man, it's looking ugly.
Thank you.
All right, kind of along those lines, what was your reaction to the news that Marcus Maye is going to be released, considering he signed a deal around the same time you did?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, man, I think with Maye, man, it was one of those situations like, damn, right? Like, you wish he had played more, right? You wish he had more time with us, but man, he was a great teammate when he was here. He was easy to be around. He was fun to be around. And man, when he put on his pads and he played for us, man, he tried his best to play big, And so he's a veteran. He's been in this league a while. Like, wherever he goes, wherever he lands, he'll be all right. But it's just one of those situations where you'll look back on it and you'll say, man, well, you wish he was healthy, and you wish a lot of things, went differently. But man, he's a good dude. And he was one of those guys that, I talk about, man. Like, it was fun to come to work and work with that guy, each and every day. So just really wishing him the best.